professors and colleagues, both in person and online. Ladies and gentlemen, to start off our agenda for today, I would appreciate if everyone could stand for the national anthem, Negaraku, and the University Malaya song. Kindly please rise.
Universiti Malaya, kebanggaan kita semua, bertambah para ilmuwan di berbagai lapangan. Kami bertekad di hati mencapai cita murni, tradisi kecemerlangan menepati di sini kami sedia berbakti, terus berinovasi. Kami harapkan generasi muda teras nusa dan bangsa. Varsity kesayanganku, sungguh banyak jasamu membentuk insan mulia, berilmu berbudaya. Di sini kami sedia berbakti, terus berinovasi. Kami harapkan generasi muda teras nusa dan bangsa. Varsity kesayanganku, sungguh banyak jasamu membentuk insan mulia, berilmu berbudaya.
Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to kindly invite Professor April Kamila Roslani, our Head of Surgery Department, to the stage to deliver her opening speech.
The Honourable Professor Datuk Dr. Adiba Kamaruzzaman, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, the Honourable Professor Emeritus Datuk Dr. Jip Cheng Ha, Professor Nazira Hasnan, Deputy Director Clinical, Pusat Perubatan Universiti Malaya, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. 25 years ago, I stepped into the University Hospital Kuala Lumpur, as it was known then, as a house officer, newly returned from foreign shores, and found that structurally and administratively, it was a very different place to what it is today. The Dean of the faculty was Professor Datuk Dr. Anwar Zaini Muhammad Zain, while the director of the hospital was Brigadier General Datuk Dr. Samsudin Hussein, who I reported to on my first day of work. Administrative officers were on the ground floor of the main tower, and UMSC did not exist. House officers were expected to stay in, and our quarters were on the 14th floor, where the present-day administrative offices are situated. Not long after that, I started my surgical rotation. The head of department at the time was Professor Al-Jafri Abdul Majid, who ran a very tight ship. The department was extremely compact in comparison to present day. Some specialties and subspecialties had yet to be developed, and it was all hands on deck, from the most junior to the most senior, all day, every day. Patient care was carefully audited, and surgeons were held accountable for their outcomes. Despite the challenges, what impressed me no end was the surgical team spirit. The camaraderie was palpable, and it felt like home. This was in no small way part of the reason I chose surgery as a career. Fast forward to 2020, and much has changed. The department's human resource has grown manifold, comprising a diverse mix of training backgrounds built around a core of homegrown staff. This has gone a long way to alleviating the professional schizophrenia that sometimes results from having to serve 3 masters. Philosophically, however, we have remained consistent, placing our patients and our students at the heart of everything that we do. Unity has never been more on display than in this year, the year of the pandemic. Everyone in the department has pulled together to ensure our clinical, academic, and research responsibilities are still delivered in a safe, evidence-based manner. It takes a very special breed to thrive in such a pressure cooker environment. Yet, there is very little in the public literature that documents our journey and the personal stories of the main players, many of whom are here today, either physically or virtually. This project, therefore, began as a way to acknowledge our past, celebrate our present, and envision our future. It has been a labor of love by all those involved, and I want to thank, in particular, Professor Vairavan Narayanan, Professor Shireen Na, Professor Simi Hong, and Dr. Ratnagauri Rajendram for their enthusiasm and commitment to seeing this through, despite the challenging deadline given by perhaps an unreasonable boss. Thank you all for making the time to join us on this journey. I hope you will enjoy it as much as we did. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor April, for the lovely speech. Next, I would like to call upon Associate Professor Shireen Na and Associate Professor Simi Hong to present the history of the department entitled A Walk Through Time.
Good afternoon. Professor Datuk Dr. Adiba binti Kamaruzaman, Dean of Faculty of Medicine, University Malaya, Professor Emeritus Datuk Dr. Yip Cheng Ha, Professor Dr. Nazira binti Hasnan, Deputy Director of University Malaya Medical Center, Professor Dr. April Kamila Roslani, Head of Department Surgery, University Malaya, esteemed guests, Head of Division Units, and as well as our previous Head of Department of Surgeries virtually. Okay. A few of us thought it would be a nice idea to add a session on the history of our department, recognizing that we are achieved today depends very much on what was done before us.
So what began as a side project took on a life of its own, occupying countless weekend hours. We tracked down all previous heads of surgery, including those living in other countries, and we are proud to report that we even managed to interview Dr. Yong, who's here with us virtually, the 94-year-old first head of surgery, with help from some of our alumnus in Singapore. So ladies and gentlemen, please take a walk with us through time. Dr. Yong Yen Keong, Dr. Yong was the founding head of surgery at the Faculty of Medicine, University of Malaya. Dr. Yong received the title of Foundation Professor of Surgery when he accepted the invitation to move from his home in Singapore to Kuala Lumpur in 1965 to join the inaugural clinical academic staff. Skilled in the techniques of open heart surgery and in the science of perfusiology, to the extent of even being able to operate a cardiopulmonary bypass machine by himself, Dr. Yong saw the birth of cardiac surgery in this country. He trained a cardiac surgical team, and his team performed the first open heart operation in Malaya in late 1969. Legends abound of Dr. Yong's dedication to patient care, including sleeping nights on end in the inpatient ward in order to respond as quickly as possible to early signs of deterioration. Dr. Yong also had the unusual foresight to start an on-site animal laboratory in the Department of Surgery, thus paving the way for a culture of basic science research in surgeons from this faculty to this day. Dr. Yong returned to Singapore in 1976 to an illustrious career in private practice, also teaching at the National University of Singapore until his retirement. He continues to live in Singapore with his wife Melina. Professor Datuk Dr. K. Somasundram. Originally from Sri Lanka and fresh from pediatric surgical training in Liverpool, Professor Soma heeded the call to join the pioneer group of surgeons in our faculty. Little did he know that the roots he put down would keep him in Malaysia for over 40 years. Professor Soma's career took a rapid upward trajectory peppered with firsts. He was promoted to head of surgery, then dean of the Faculty of Medicine. As the first fully trained pediatric surgeon in Malaysia, he started the transformation of care for neonates and children requiring surgery and published groundbreaking animal laboratory research on congenital diaphragmatic hernia. Together with plastic and reconstructive surgeon Dr. K.S. Wong, Professor Soma performed the first ever successful separation of conjoint twins in the region. The pre-operative preparation was so intense that Dr. Soma requested to be relieved of his duties as dean to allow him to concentrate fully on this all-consuming task, a testament indeed to his concern for the welfare of his patients. Professor Soma remains fondly remembered by his contemporaries and trainees as a generous mentor, a surgeon of incredible technical skill, and a true role model.
Associate Professor Dr. T started his career in academic surgery in 1971 at the University of Malaya. He was promoted to Associate Professor in 1976 and Head of Department in 1978. Associate Professor Dr. So Huat Seong graduated in the first undergrad batch of Faculty of Medicine of the University of Malaya and enjoys the distinction of being the first head of surgery to be a product of the university. Dr. So remembered those student days as filled with luminaries who were his teacher and mentor, including Professor T.J. Danaraj. Among the achievements that Dr. So is proud of during his tenure as head of surgery was the open discussion of morbidities and mortalities, which is a practice he observed during cardiac surgical training in New York University. After leaving the university, Dr. So moved to Singapore, where he continued to practice cardiothoracic surgery in a private hospital. He maintains an active lifestyle and was tracked and photographed in countries like Australia, New Zealand, Nigeria, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Nepal, Thailand, China, and Vietnam.
Datuk Dr. Syed Muhammad Nori. Born into a large family of 8 siblings in Perlis, Associate Professor Datuk Syed's path to a surgical career was an atypical one. He graduated from medical school in East Pakistan, where he met his lovely wife, Dr. Farida Jamal, known to many as the former Professor of Medical Microbiology, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. He returned to complete general surgery training in Hospital Kuala Lumpur, but left for general practice before joining the Department of Surgery at the University of Malaya. Datuk Syed Nori's gentle and unassuming demeanour belies a character of steel that saw a period of rapid growth in both the Faculty of Medicine and in University Hospital, as the University of Malaya Medical Centre was then known. As head of surgery, he was the first in the university to perform a laparoscopic cholecystectomy and was among the early surgeon adopters of gastrointestinal endoscopy. As Deputy Director of University Hospital, he supervised the design and development of Menara Timur, incorporating laboratories and office spaces into a plan that originally focused only on clinical patient areas. Datuk Syed Nori's voice is valued by many as one of reason, wisdom, and experience. He has served and continues to serve as advisor on professional boards and committees while maintaining his private general surgical practice in Kuala Lumpur.
Professor Datuk Dr. Al-Jafri Abdul Majid was a graduate of Monash University in Melbourne and the son of a renowned Malaysian, Tan Sri Dr. Abdul Majid, a pioneering Malaysia orthopedic surgeon and the second Director General of the Ministry of Health. Prof. Al-Jafri carried his illustrious lineage forward, becoming a cardiothoracic surgeon, subsequently taking up stints as the Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and later the head of Department of Surgery between 1993 to 2000. Prof. Al-Jafri expanded the cardiothoracic service in the faculty and contributed to the development of surgical education. He organized and participated as an examiner in numerous FRCS and MRCS examinations in Malaysia. He was awarded the Sir Perhim Aziz Gold Medal by the Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh in 2003. He has written numerous research articles, including a description of the development of the mini thoracotomy for patent ductus arteriosus closure, and edited many surgical textbooks in the last 20 years, namely Principle of Surgical Practice, Fundamental of Surgical Practice, Advanced Surgical Practice, and Fundamental of Orthopedic and Traumatology. Professor Emeritus Datuk Dr. Yip Ching Ha was born in Kampar Perak, the second daughter of a school teacher father and a homemaker mother. She was truly a pioneer in the field of surgery. A graduate of our university, she was the first in her family to become a doctor, the first female surgeon trained in University Hospital Kuala Lumpur, the first female lecturer in Department of Surgery. Then, she was the first female head of surgery. As head of surgery, she oversaw the expansion of other surgical specialties such as neurosurgery and plastic surgery, as well as general surgery subspecialties such as colorectal and vascular surgery. Her personal interest in breast surgery led to an explosion of clinical and research in the field, where our center continues to lead both regionally and internationally. Her networking skill paved the way for the first National Conjoint Board exam in general surgery and to multiple international research collaboration. Prof. Yip maintains active involvement in cancer awareness and prevention, journal editorials, research, and clinical practice. She is the recipient of a multitude of honors and awards and was the first Malaysian ever in history to receive an honorary fellowship from the American College of Surgeons.
Professor Dr. Azad Hassan Abdul Razak. Professor Azad graduated from University of Malaya in 1986 and moved quickly through the surgical ranks, passing the FRCS Edinburgh examinations in 1991 and earning a scholarship from Petronas in 1993 to pursue higher surgical training in urology, which took him to London, UK, and Mansoura, Egypt. He returned to the university in 1996 and thus began his long career in the education and training of surgeons, while expanding clinical services in urology and spearheading basic science and clinical research. In his tenures as head of surgery, Professor Azad's goal was to bridge the gap between scientists and clinicians, particularly surgeons. In those days, few surgeons had personal experience of basic science research, and many could not see its practical applications in the tactile world of surgery. Professor Azad had the vision to bring on non-surgeons as staff in the Department of Surgery, such as medical laboratory technicians, research assistants, and scientists, and was possibly the first in the country to do so. He collaborated with academic staff from preclinical and paraclinical departments to further build research capacity. Prof. Azad remains a beloved honorary member of the department and returns regularly to assist with the renal transplant service. The culture of teamwork and collaboration that he nurtured carries on in the urology unit and in the department.
Dr. Alizan bin Abdul Khalil. Professor Dr. Alizan is passionate about maths, science and arts. His childhood dream was to be a computer engineer, but that dream quickly evaporated when he saw how many of his overseas educated cousins could not secure jobs as engineers on their return home. Not many know that he holds a diploma in computer engineering in addition to his medical qualifications. Professor Alizan took over as head of surgery in 2012. Identifying area of continued improvement, he focused on standardization and accreditation for the general surgery component in the undergraduate University Malaya medical program. His passion for education was reflected in his implementation of a train-the-trainer program for clinical examiners. As the first PhD holder in the Department of Surgery, Professor Alizan used his doctorate experience to coordinate the development of the surgical lab together with Professor Yip Ching Ha.
Professor Dr. Vigneswaran Mathaneswaran, one of the foremost neurosurgeons in the country, specializing in skull-base, pituitary and endoscopic brain surgery, Prof. Vicky, as he is known, was also a University Malaya graduate and completed his neurosurgery training in Cambridge before returning as academic staff in 2001. Starting out as a one-man neurosurgery team with no designated neurosurgical wards and having access to only shared equipment, the neurosurgical division is now the most advanced in Malaysia, boasting state-of-the-art operative suites and multiple subspecialties. Describing the last 20 years as a roller coaster ride, Prof. Vicky regrets not a minute of it. When he took on the mantle of head of surgery in 2015, Prof. Vicky made radical changes to how the department was run, instituting a council of surgeons comprising all the surgical subspecialty division heads as part of an advisory council within the department. I wanted all the divisions to develop in tandem and have a voice in the direction of the department. This way, everyone has a chance to be heard and contribute to the development of the department. He also created an undergraduate committee to run the new UMMP medical program within the department, a postgraduate committee to do the same for the surgical postgraduate programs, and a research committee to encourage and foster a sustainable research environment within the department. Prof. Vicky continues to indulge his love of design and device development in the innovation of new tools and devices for general neurosurgery, base of skull surgery, and minimally invasive neurosurgical endoscopy. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us on this lovely historical journey, which we all enjoyed as well. So I'm happy to say that for those of you who have just joined us, perhaps online, 3 of our first heads of surgery are also with us virtually, as well as Professor Al-Jafri. So that would be Dr. Yong, Professor Soma, and Dr. So Huat Siong. They're all logged in now as well. We do have videos of the interviews that we had with them, which will be put up online in due course on our website, so do please check them out.
Thank you both. That was indeed a very inspiring presentation about a succession of prominent figures who shaped numerous surgeons over the last 50 years in the Department of Surgery, University of Malaya. We are very grateful for their contributions to the department. A simple thank you will never be enough. Each and every one of them is unique in their own way. Budding surgeons would want to echo their achievements, just like the saying goes, a great person is one who influences the mind of their generation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Department of Surgery website development team, which is spearheaded by Associate Professor Vairava Narayanan, has been working day and night tirelessly over the last few months and even more the past few weeks to compile interesting and informative content. Interviews, photo sessions, lists of achievements, distinct milestones, you name it. The website has it all. Allow me to call upon Associate Professor Vairavan Narayanan to give us a sneak peek of the Department of Surgery website.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mashita. Professor Dr. Adiba Kamaruzaman, Professor Emeritus Dr. Yip Cheng Har, Professor Nazira Hasnan, Professor April Kamila Roslani, esteemed professors and colleagues, both in person and online. Thank you very much for taking time off to join us today for the launching of our department website, despite these very trying times. There was a little bit of discussion earlier last week about whether we should cancel or postpone this event. But after talking to both Prof. April and Prof. Adiba, we decided that a little bit of good news can at least dispel these dark clouds for a little while. So here we are. This project originally started 5 years ago. We wanted an easily accessible platform to share our department's clinical services, expertise, educational opportunities, and expand research collaboration. Due to various factors, the initial progress was quite slow. About 3 months ago, Prof. April decided to call on a small group of enforced volunteers, including myself, to help get this project moving again. The deadline was December 2020, which brings us to our current website. This website presents our clinical services and expertise, educational training opportunities, and research work within the department. The Department of Surgery is the second largest clinical department in the Faculty of Medicine. We comprise of 6 divisions: cardiothoracic, general surgery, pediatric surgery, plastic and reconstructive surgery, neurosurgery, and urology. General surgery is further subdivided into 6 units: breast surgery, colorectal surgery, endocrine surgery, hepatobiliary surgery, upper GI surgery, and vascular surgery. We have 3 standing committees which oversee the core academic duties: undergraduate, postgraduate, and research, respectively. Unique among all clinical departments, we also have an advisory council of surgeons comprising of the head of divisions and standing committees, which meets every 2 weeks to discuss and advise the head of department on all matters related to the department. Over the past 55 years, we have developed into one of the largest, successful, and most versatile department of surgery in the country, accomplished in clinical, educational, and research activities. It is only because we are standing on the shoulders of giants that we see so much. My colleagues, C and Shireen, shared a small window into the wisdom of these great men and women who have guided us down this journey. One of the best parts of doing this project was meeting these great surgeons and recording their advice for posterity. Consistent with the aim to share our clinical expertise, each unit within the Division of General Surgery, as well as each division of surgery, has expanded on the wide variety of clinical services and cutting work we do. These are all detailed within the website. Education and training is a core service within our department. We are actively involved in undergraduate teaching at all levels. We are also the only department to offer 3 clinical master's programs, namely the Masters of General Surgery since 1988, the Masters of Pediatric Surgery since 2004, and our newest program, Masters of Neurosurgery, since 2019. Along with this, we offer clinical fellowships and masters and PhDs by research. Our website acknowledges all our previous alumni while providing information for potential new students. An academic department is not complete without a good research arm. The department research unit runs the research training, clinical, and research thesis guidance, as well as in-house surgical research lab. These activities will be publicized via the website in the future. Consistent with the aim of expanding research collaboration, we have identified research niche areas with details of relevant academics and their research areas, which would enable them to match appropriate partners and collaborate with people within and outside our faculty. All this will not be possible without a good support from our support staff in the background. And we acknowledge our lab and administrative staff who have helped us to concentrate on our core business of medicine and teaching. The aim of this website is to encourage and expand our academic pursuits within the Department of Surgery and to acknowledge the work done by our previous and current academic staff. Prof. April asked us to complete this project in 5 months. We did it in 3. I would like to thank all my colleagues who spent many weekends and evenings after work to get us here. Thank you.
Thank you, Associate Professor Vairavan Narayanan. Amazing compilation in one website. Feel free to surf the website to get to know us better. This website will be accessible to everyone in just a few moments. Before we proceed with the launch, we would like to invite our previous heads to share some words of wisdom.
We have got 4 previous heads of departments available online who have already been linked in through Zoom. Can we have them on the gallery, please? Prof. Soma. Prof. Soma. Hi, Prof. How are you?
Very exciting and very happy. The memories are brought back, and to see most of my colleagues still active and interested in what's going on around all of us. And the department itself has shown great progress. It's unbelievable what it is now compared to how we started. And all this is due to individual efforts by all the staff, both academic, professional, and other ancillary staff. So the department has really grown so big and also has become a showpiece for the country. And that's the most important thing. The image we reflect about the activities of the university departments that is known outside the country, so that people know what all this is all about in Malaysia. And University of Malaya, being the first university in Malaysia, has to take the lead, and it has done so in a big way.
Thank you very much, Prof. Soma. That was very kind words. Can we have Prof. N.K. Yong? Prof. Yong?
Yes.
Hi, how are you, sir?
Very well.
It's so great to see you here online with us.
Yes, I'm very pleased to be taking part in this online.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yong.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and can we have Prof. So, Prof. Dr. Sao Hot Siong?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I would like first to congratulate the minds behind this project. I've always mentioned that history should be written by people who lived through history and not in retrospect. And looks like we have people here who have lived through history. Now, in listening to all the presentations, I think that there is one thing that struck me as important. When I was there, when Dr. Yong was there, when Dr. Soma was there, we had 2 very good support clinical staff, clerical staff, and there was Christina and Rohana. Now, those are two names with an NA at the end of it with a Na. And I see that this project is started by two other people with Na, and there's Narayan and Shirin Na. So it looks like you need the word Na in your name to make progress in the department. That's just a tongue-in-cheek statement.
Thank you, Prof.
Now let me just say a couple of things. Just as a word of encouragement to the younger people who are following behind, try and look for a role model. None of us can get to where we are without a wind beneath our wings. And here, I'm so happy to see two of the people who have been great wins for me. And they are Dr. Yong. I mentioned in my interview that without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. And the second person was Dr. Somosundram. We work very hard together. We have real camaraderie. And possibly now in the year 2020, you have COVID to push you along. But in 1969, I had, unfortunately, the May 13 riot in 1969 to push me along. So you have something similar to get along with. The other thing I noticed that is very important now that has been mentioned is training and education. Education is a lifelong process. It is not just after school and you're done, after university and you're done. Here, can I just quote, it is not the paper chase that you're looking after. I remember Dr. Srinivasan, I think he was a founding urologist in Malaysia. He gave a talk which still resonates with me. And he said, in those days, that was early 1970s, I think he said, I foresee a disease and it is called multiple diplomatosis. And we are saying that quite often. We want to have all sorts of degrees after our names, but that really is not important. The more important thing is to be competent personally and to know what you are. I can go on with this, but I think I should end here and let the launch and the other part of the program continue. Thank you very much for listening to me, and it's an honor to have me here with you.
Thank you, Prof. So it's an honor for us to have you with us today. And last but not least, we have Prof. Al-Jafri Abdul Majid. Prof, can you say a few words?
Hello, everyone there. Thank you for having me, and congratulations on your excellent website. What a good idea to publicize our very, very important department. If there's anything I have to say to people, it's never forget the three sacred virtues that you as a surgeon and doctor, first of all, have to do. Your duty, your sacred duty to your patient, your sacred duty to your student, and your sacred duty to make sure that there is tomorrow. In other words, think and create a new way of thinking for surgery. Don't look behind only. Look to the forward so that you know what, so that you can create something for tomorrow. Since today is one thing, but tomorrow is another. And you have to prepare your next generation for it. Those are the three things I would like to remind you of your duties. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Al-Jafri. It's a great honor to have all of you all here with us. Thank you.
Thank you to all the previous heads and Associate Professor Vairavan Narayanan. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment that we have been waiting for, I would like to call upon the Honorable Professor Datuk Dr. Adiba Kamarulzaman, Dean at Faculty of Medicine, University of Malaya, on stage to officially launch the website.
Good afternoon, everyone. Vairavan warned me, just say a few words, okay? Because he knows I can carry on a bit. So to the distinguished professors and former heads of surgery who are online, it's wonderful that you could make time to join us this afternoon. This is also the first kind of official function for the faculty, so let me take this opportunity before I say those other few words to congratulate Prof. Nazira, who will be our pengarah in a few weeks, and Prof. April, who will relinquish her role as the superb head of Department of Surgery to take on a bigger role as Deputy Director, Surgical, for UMMC, and Dr. Saleh, who's probably not here, who will take on the other role of Deputy Director for Perubatan. So we're all looking forward to working with these three stellar, hardworking, dedicated leaders who I think together with the faculty and UMSC will realize our dream of making Faculty of Medicine, Faculty of Dentistry, Faculty of Pharmacy, together with PPUM and UMSC, into a true academic health center to be known as UM Health, that will serve, and as April said, will make patients and students the center and the heart of everything we do. So your Shireen and C. I think this, and April, of course, your look back is incredibly important. And as you were showing the montage, I looked up, it's a wonderful thing, this internet, and found a quote by Maya Angelou, who is a Nobel laureate and one of my favorite writers and poets, who said, "I have great respect for the past. If you don't know where you've come from, you don't know where you're going. I have respect for the past, but I'm a person of the moment. I'm here and I do my best to be completely centered at the place I'm at. Then I go forward to the next place." Isn't that beautiful? You know, I think it encompasses everything that the message that you are trying to bring with this website, with history, taking all the trouble to find and interview all the former heads of department, because as Maya Angelou said, if you don't know, and there have been other famous quotes, if you don't know the past, you will not know the future. Now, the other thing to be proud of is, the Department of Surgery that grew from 5 people, and that little bit about Vicky being the sole neurosurgeon really resonates with me, because I was the sole infectious disease person when I came back in 1997, and people said, "What's an infectious disease person? Why do you need them? You know, we've managed all this while." So anyway, that really resonated with me. But I think the other thing to be extremely proud of in terms of the achievements of the Department of Surgery is, of course, the ability to grow from 5 people to now 77 or so, 78, a combination of members of the academic staff as well as staff from PPUM. It's no mean feat, considering the the pool out there with the quadruple or whatever salary that you could master even as a junior surgeon. So it is a testament of the leadership of April and other heads of unit that you've been able to not just retain but attract new staff to the department. So give yourselves a big clap, because one of the biggest headaches is, and my biggest sadness is when I see a resignation letter on my desk. And finally, the other thing to be very proud of is how the department, and I guess the faculty in the hospital as a whole, have achieved so much with so little. Not many people know how little we get in our coffers every year and how we have to make do to be a world-class institution, whether it's in delivering clinical services, or whether it's delivering education services, or whether it's doing research. Whenever I get the chance, especially when I see people outside our sphere, I tell them how little we get in terms of operational funds every year, particularly the faculty. Most people nearly fall off their chairs when I tell them that. Not that it comes with, money to help us, but, I keep trying. Because really, if we consider how little we get each year for operational funds, you all have managed so well with, occasional complaints, but not very big complaints. Next year, I think Hanif, bless his heart, the financial officer over at the faculty, I think will increase the operational. I won't even call it budget. It's too embarrassing to call it a budget because it's like pocket money to the departments. I think this year you got 5,000, 8,000 ringgit to just buy, not even enough to buy A4 papers and pens, let alone, do world-class research. But as I said, it's a testament of your resilience, commitment, dedication, and also some measure of ingenuity that we have all managed to keep not just the boat afloat, but also really perform in many ways at world-class standards. So thank you, and give yourselves a big clap for being able to do that despite all the challenges. So with that, I'm really proud to, one more thing. The reason I was saying about the operational expenditure is because we're very, very good at getting cheap labor, is that what we call it? Because yes, Varavan, I know who you got to do that creative website, and apparently it's not paid, so it's paid in kind. So I think I was saying to April, perhaps you should pay before I get hauled up for bullying or something like that. So with that, very proud to see this wonderful website, and hopefully other departments will emulate I think Vairavan, you're up for hire. And and it, as all websites do, reach many more people and be able to tell the story to the Malaysian public and beyond of the wonderful work that you're doing. So with that, congratulations to all at the Department of Surgery, and looking forward to seeing the website populated with more and more good efforts. So as a test of my memory, Vairavan told me the website name. So he's going to test my memory, because now I can't remember what it is anymore. I know what it is.
Do you know?
Yeah, I think so.
No, here.
Oh, it's not attached.
Yeah. You search.
Yeah.
Right?
Yay.
Thank you, Professor Datuk Dr. Adibah Kamaruzaman, for your earnest words, and officially the website is launched. With this, we have reached the end of the ceremony. On behalf of the Department of Surgery, I would like to apologize if there had been any shortcomings from our side in organizing this event. Please do not forget to log in to our website at umsurgery.my. Refreshments are available for all at the reception counter. Kindly please help yourself on your way out from the auditorium. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you and have a pleasant day ahead. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good evening. To all that are present,